Putin turns aging S-300 and S-400 surface-to-air missiles into improvised strike munitions against Ukrainian cities and infrastructure, while Zelensky struggles to stretch limited Patriot batteries across the front lines. Russia is adapting the S-400 air defense architecture into a long-range strike tool in Ukraine, using RM-48U zombie missiles fired from S-300 or 400 launchers to hit ground and industrial targets as quasi-ballistic weapons. RM-48U missiles let the system strike factories and energy sites as ballistic-style weapons, confusing Ukraine's air defenses and extending the life of old interceptor stockpiles. These converted interceptors join Iskander ballistic missiles and Bastion coastal systems in a broader precision strike campaign, forcing Kyiv to choose where to risk scarce interceptors and where to absorb damage. Putin's S-400 game-changer shocks Zelensky amid his US trip to garner more support and ammunition, highlighting how every Russian innovation raises the cost and complexity of defending Ukraine's airspace. Russia's S-400 system has demonstrated a new ground strike role in the Ukraine war, according to multiple recent reports. The long-range air defense network is now launching RM-48U missiles against fixed ground targets instead of only intercepting aircraft and missiles. Recent strikes reportedly used these RM-48U missiles against industrial sites in and around Kyiv, expanding Russia's options for deep attacks. One set of attacks triggered a large fire in Kyiv's Sviatoshinsky district, according to local and international reporting from the scene. Details of the S-400's new ground strike capabilities were highlighted by Military Watch magazine on July 28 as part of its coverage of Russia's evolving tactics. Social media videos shared after the strikes show multiple high-speed ballistic impacts in the area, according to MWM and other observers. The visual and radar signatures in those clips match earlier surface-to-surface use of S-300 and S-400 missiles seen elsewhere in Ukraine. Other footage circulating online suggested that more RM-48U strikes hit locations across Kyiv during the same wave of attacks. Reports said the Meridian plant, also known as the Korolev plant, was among the industrial targets struck in these missile raids. The Meridian facility produces electronics and communications equipment for both defense and civilian applications, making it a high-value node. That reported targeting pattern fits Russia's wider campaign against Ukrainian defense industrial production and critical supporting factories. The strikes show how the S-400 network can supplement Russia's tactical ballistic forces by providing long-range ground hits from air defense launchers. RM-48U is widely seen as a modified derivative of the 48N6 interceptor line used in the S-3 PM and S-400 systems. Originally designed to engage aerial targets at speeds above Mach 6, the missile remains extremely fast when used in a quasi-ballistic ground attack role. Its high velocity and large fragmentation warhead allow it to maul big industrial structures, even without precision guidance comparable to dedicated strike missiles. Although RM-48U was not built as a precision strike weapon, its kinetic energy and fragment cloud can still be devastating against broad area targets. Converted interceptors like RM-48U usually have lower accuracy than purpose-built ballistic missiles because their guidance was optimized for hitting moving aircraft. Their seeker and flight profile are not tailored to small, fixed ground points, which limits their effectiveness against pinpoint targets. As a result, Russian forces typically employ these converted missiles against large area objectives such as industrial plants, fuel depots, or logistics hubs. Even with a moderate circular error probable, RM-48U can still be operationally effective in that role because a near miss can heavily damage sprawling facilities. RM-48U has been developed specifically for surface-to-surface roles in Ukraine, marking a shift from older interceptors that were designed only for air defense use. It is likely cheaper than frontline surface-to-air missiles and, in its current configuration, more accurate on large ground targets than many improvised zombie rounds. Ukrainian intelligence sources say Russia has more than doubled RM-48U production rates compared with earlier phases of the war. Output is expected to reach about 500 RM-48U missiles in 2026, up from roughly 200 units produced in 2025. Each RM-48U carries a high explosive fragmentation warhead of around 180 kilograms, giving it substantial destructive power against industrial facilities. The reported launch of 4 RM-48Us at industrial targets inside Kyiv shows continued refinement of Russia's tactics for mass ground strikes from S-300 or 400 batteries. This use of S-400 as a strike system sits alongside growing output of Iskander and Bastion missiles, forming a layered long-range attack complex. Russia is also buying ballistic missiles from North Korea to feed its wider precision strike arsenal and offset domestic production limits. Russia's upgraded Iskander missiles are increasingly evading America's vaunted Patriot air defense systems, raising questions about the balance of power in the skies. Reported software and guidance upgrade allowing Iskander missiles to perform sharp terminal maneuvers is being described by as a potential turning point in the missile defense standoff. New reports suggest Russian ballistic missiles are using decoys and evasive dives in their final seconds of flight, complicating interceptions by American-supplied defense systems. With Ukraine's interception rates reportedly falling sharply in recent months, concerns are mounting in Kyiv over whether its Patriot batteries can keep pace with Russia's evolving missile technology. Russia has reportedly modified the Iskander missile using new software instead of developing an entirely new missile. The reported upgrade is designed to make the missile far more unpredictable during the final moments before impact. This has reportedly forced Ukraine's US-supplied Patriot batteries to deal with a constantly changing interception problem. The missile is said to perform sudden lateral movements, steep climbs and sharp dives during its terminal flight phase. Such maneuvers can reportedly invalidate the interception point calculated by Patriot air defense systems. Air defense crews may have only a few seconds to recalculate a new intercept solution before the missile strikes. A former Ukrainian official described the modified terminal flight profile as a potential game-changer on the battlefield. US assessments reportedly noted inconsistent Patriot performance against rapidly changing missile trajectories. However, the underlying software changes and complete engagement data have not been publicly verified. Reports from Kyiv suggested ballistic missile interception rates have declined over the past 2 months. Patriot remains Ukraine's primary system for defending against high-speed ballistic missile threats. PAC-3 interceptors must now adapt rapidly to targets maneuvering at speeds estimated between Mach 6 and Mach 7. Russia continues combining drones, cruise missiles, decoys and electronic warfare during large-scale attacks. Reports indicate Russia is producing around 60 to 65 Iskander missiles every month to sustain periodic strikes. Meanwhile, Russia has continued launching heavy retaliatory attacks across Ukraine as the conflict intensifies. Russia deployed as many as 147 long-range strike drones in a massive overnight assault across Ukraine between July 26 and July 27. The attack on Zaporizhzhia reportedly damaged several buildings and private homes, leaving behind widespread destruction across residential neighborhoods. The Russian strikes also reportedly claimed 1 life, while at least 2 other people were left injured in the latest bombardment. At sea, a civilian cargo vessel reportedly sank near Ukraine's Odessa coast, adding another deadly dimension to the ongoing conflict. Earlier, reports had emerged that a cargo ship was allegedly attacked by Russian missiles while sailing at the Black Sea on July 19. At least 10 crew members, including a Ukrainian maritime pilot, were reportedly killed in the aftermath of the devastating strike. Ukraine continued launching long-range drone attacks deep inside Russian territory, keeping up pressure on Moscow on July 27. Ukrainian drones reportedly struck a Russian export terminal on the Black Sea, with the attack said to have killed at least 2 people. Additional Ukrainian drone strikes were also reported from several regions located to the northeast of Moscow during the same wave. Russian oil facilities in Taganrog, the Udmurtia Republic, and Yaroslav Oblast were all reportedly targeted in coordinated Ukrainian attacks. In Udmurtia, an oil installation was hit during what Russian officials described as one of the largest drone assaults seen so far. Ukrainian drones also targeted Belgorod and several other cities in southern Russia during another overnight wave of attacks on July 27. The fresh strikes came shortly after Zelensky claimed on July 25 that Russia was mobilizing even more troops for the war.